Electing judges is something we do in Texas. Not everybody else does it across the country. But here, we've been doing it that way since just after the Civil War. That's more than 150 years. And still, according to the paper, an awful lot of Texans have no clue. I mean, we have a clue, but we don't really get what's going on with judicial elections. And that got me thinking. In Texas, like in the rest of America, elections are held to allow the people to get their say. You know? To be the ones in charge. To decide who's best for the job. So what happens when it comes time to elect a judge? How do you choose? Who's the right person? It's kind of a big deal. I mean, the judge has the final say in the courtroom, and what happens in there makes a difference out here. Here's the thing. Frankly, there's a bunch of people out there who'd rather you not pay attention to who you vote for judge. I know it's crazy and all, but if you're not paying attention to what's going on and not asking why, that makes it hard to complain later, particularly if that later is when you're sitting in that oak-paneled room, looking at that person with your future in his hands. Do you want to gamble on that person? Really? Do you? Unlike electing someone to the legislature or to city council or for governor, there really is only one factor you ought to consider when looking at the long list of judicial candidates. Now, it's not how good looking they are. It's not how they voted. It's not how much money they have. Nope, it's none of those things. The only real factor is much simpler. Is that judge, or wannabe judge, able to run a fair courtroom? That's it. That's the most important question. Can the courtroom be fair? That means during election season, you have to pay attention to where the money's coming from. You've got to ask who benefits, who gets ahead. And then when everybody gets worked up and starts throwing around words like activist or conservative or radical or whatever, you stay focused on the question that matters. Can that person run a fair courtroom? Because if we don't have fair courtrooms, we can't have fair much else. Here in Texas, we're famous for making up our own minds and doing what we want. And given the right, we'll choose who we want. Choose well. Texas depends on it.